Parkland has teamed with New Living, and we built this Playhouse. And what it serves as, while you're shopping at the New Living store, your kids can come around and play on this side. But it also has it's kind of an informational, it's a educational zone. And so we're missing an incandescent bulb, but what this allows you to do is toggle back and forth and see what happens to your meter when you have a compact fluorescent versus a traditional incandescent bulb. And it moves a whole lot faster. And so this kind of gives you an idea visually of what it means when you change bulbs throughout your house to either LEDs or compact fluorescents. One big misconception, and this is going to blind the camera, is that here's three different displays of glass. This is a single pane glass. This is single pane glass with energy efficient film. That, by the way, is almost the same in color. There's this big misconception also in the industry that you have to go black on your windows to block light, and that's not the case. This can almost virtually be clear. And this is a double pane window. So shut your eyes because I'm going to blind you. But if you put your hand, single pane versus single pane, the heat is dramatically different, and it's very similar to the double pane. So essentially, what you can do is, typically in your homes, we're faced with this problem that changing out your windows is very expensive. And so this gives you the ability to say, okay, which rooms are hot? Typically it's on the east, west, and south facing windows, or it may just be where you work. And so we can come in and put energy efficient film and dramatically cut down the heat and make you more comfortable, and it lowers the bills a lot. This kind of gives you an idea of what a lot of attics look like before we come in and retrofit them. You can't see, but there's voids and gaps. There's minimal insulation. There's non-insulated cans. Over here, there's unattached leaky ducts. There's not proper ventilation and exhaust. And so over here we come in and we block and seal. We insulate on top of your insulation. In a lot of cases, we may change out your non-insulated cans to insulated cans, and that way it allows us to insulate on top of it. That's the other thing. You got to be very careful. What a lot of contractors will do is tell you, I'm going to come in and I can insulate on top of these cans. Well, that's a fire hazard. It'll cause what's called nuisance flickering. It's when the can's overheating can cause a fire, and there's a sensor that cuts it off, and that way your lights will continuously flicker. So if your lights are flickering, make sure you get someone to go up in your attic, or go up in your attic and get the insulation away from these cans, because this is now code if you were to build new. And you'll see that we tighten up all the ductwork. There's better ventilation, and there's also a radiant barrier sprayed in. An idea of a display of some of the different types of insulation that's on the market. This is your traditional bad insulation. The problem is that you see these gaps and voids. This renders the R value pretty much ineffective. This is where we call it thermal bypass. When you can air condition an air-conditioned space, this goes right through. This is cellulose, very green product. It's made of cardboard and newspaper. It's blown in, grate in walls of cavities because it has a higher R value, and it allows you to fill the cavity. This is actually made out of blue jean, and then you have isoline, which is spray foam, which is an expensive product. It's a whole different way that you build a house and insulate a house. It's a fabulous product, but you get into really extreme tight homes, and that's when you have to be very responsible with how you mechanically breathe, the types of equipment you use and how they combust, and so on and so forth. Last but not least, this kind of touches on indoor air quality. We are a sole distributor of a product called IQ Air, which is a filtration system, and we have the ability to measure your air quality when we come in through diagnostic equipment, and guarantee when we leave that your air quality will be 90% and be able to prove it to you. You don't change your filters for 3 years. It's used in hospitals. It was used to fight against SARS. Olympic athletes use it. It's used in areas for all kind of reasons. but it's an amazing product, and it's changing a lot of people's lives. And it's actually very cost effective as well.